This is my guide on win conditions in Globe Gear. This is a pretty important guide to level up your game from a simple TDM into a higher level one with strategy. I'll start with the essentials, but this guide is still quite advanced and is aimed at higher level players. It's obviously also a bit more complicated than this, but different matchups, loadouts and playstyles all make it harder. There are two factors that you must identify at the start of the game: who has more range and who sustains a fight for longer. Range is pretty self-explanatory. Who can shoot the furthest? Snipers, battle rifles, assault rifles are what we're looking at here. The second factor is basically tankiness to sustain an extended fight in an area without retreating. Think of gears like barrier, rifles again, and traps, but also AoE weapons which deny the other team's tankiness, such as Nova, Bounder, or Ricochet SMG. Attacker gears don't reload, but use other resources like stability to be able to deal damage, so they can sort of sustain a fight, but they work better in other situations since they don't output constant damage like a gunner. From these two factors we can identify a basic win condition. If you have more range and sustain, you play poke from a typical fortress setup. If you have more range but don't have as much sustain, you play from several angles and surround the other team from a distance. If you have more sustain but less range, you play close and do a more brawly game, not overcommitting but playing your life and chipping from a close range. If you have less range and less sustain, you play dive. Now we know what the basic win condition is for your team, you then have to fulfill your role to help your team achieve this win condition. The next thing to do is identify who you want to focus. Do you want to go back to front or front to back? Back to front means you kill the back line first, then the front lines after. Front to back is the opposite. Which one you do changes depending on your matchups. I'll leave it to you to learn based off of trial and error, since this isn't very easy to teach. Another strategy might be sending someone to annoy and distract the backline, then kill the front line first anyway. This strategy is called killing middle. This was my first advanced guide in my new series of how to win in Globe Gear. I'll be a bit less formal in this one, the videos will be a bit longer, and it'll be pretty random when I decide to do one of these ones, and I don't have a set structure, but I have a few other ideas. Thanks for watching, see you later, and I'll do advanced guides on all four of the major win conditions at some point.